Hey all, I'm back. I just didn't like the way I ended my last video, and after I had a good night's sleep, got ready for work this morning, decided at my lunch that I should post another update on where I'm at with my thoughts. I think what it really is, I'm at a crossroads. I'm just sort of trying to find out what direction to go. You know, there are decisions to make and they're difficult. I am finding it really hard to make these choices. I want to make choices that are rewarding for me. And, well, I'm here to tell you that I'm not going to give you advice, as I said, but I'm just going to share with you what I plan on doing from now on, I suppose. Or I'm going to try to practice this. I'm going to try to make these decisions and move forward. And hopefully everything works out. We all have to make decisions, and we all have to make decisions regarding our lives at some point or on a daily basis. But this one is, I guess, a big one for me. I need to make a decision on what my next moves are. No one's forcing me. No one's telling me or, telling me to be happy or unhappy. And I am choosing to be joyful, be happy, be at peace, and just be aware. I'm just gonna try to keep my awareness of when I'm feeling less happier, less joyful, and it is really a tragedy to be stuck in a situation, and or it feels like it's a tragedy. So if we find ourselves feeling like we're missing people and we feel left out or we feel abandoned or rejected, we could turn that around. It could become joyous. It could become, we could celebrate little things. We could find little things to celebrate, and if the option of choosing our happiness over unhappiness, I think I choose happiness and blissfulness. So I'm going to try my very best to practice this. I'm not gonna sit here and dwell in what could have been and what should have been, and think about the things that I'm being blamed for, or think about all the problems and how it happened. And I'm just gonna acknowledge that I played a role in everything, and my thoughts and my intentions, how even if they were silent or active or physical, they were still intentions, and they made an impact. So just accepting those things, I think it's gonna help me to move forward. If someone insults me, I think I'm gonna choose to not feel embarrassed or humiliated. I'm going to choose to listen to what that person said and, not take it to heart, not take it inside of me. There's there's only one person who is allowing that, and that would be me. If somebody, shows disrespect or insults or blame or, you know, judgment, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm not doing those things anymore, because I think in my past I would just completely engulf myself in the insults and react and take it in so deep into my heart, into my body, and just let it live there. It's just gonna have to stop. I can't live like that anymore. Can't take things so personal. I don't know why I did those things, but I want to say that, you know, I want to be like I had a vision this morning of rain falling and, a duck in water just and bathing in rain. I kind of remember a memory of seeing a duck enjoying a puddle, and just how the water just never sits in the or sit on the body of the duck. It just slides right off. And, I know that metaphor of it's like water rolling off the back of a duck or some shit like that. But whatever. I'm just going to try to practice that, There's no need for me to put that in my body, my heart, and take it so personal and take it so to become a part of me, because it's just someone's opinion, and I don't want that to be something that I have to live with and let it hurt me and react to that insult and humiliation. That doesn't say anything about me when that person's behaving that way. It's just that person expressing what they feel and how they feel it. And, however they feel at the moment, that's their feelings. It's not mine. So it should not enter my heart at all. Because, it's coming from outside of me, and only what lives within me in my heart is true. Or, what I feel is what resonates with me. There's no door between me and someone else's insults. If I don't open myself to it and accept it, then it doesn't have to be me. So I'm not gonna let that enter and come from outside and live within me anymore, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, those are some of the things that I want to start practicing. Just saying that if we don't allow these feelings to enter us, then they can't harm us. And I know our society tells us that we should be listening to what other people are saying because maybe they see us differently than we see ourselves. But I think our society and it all started with our own families, just growing up and just being in this bubble of just negativity or, constant criticism and trying to find what's wrong with everyone else. It's not right. And I think we need to stop. I think we all need to practice mindfulness. And you know what? I used to think that I did, but perhaps I didn't. And I want to say that from now on, I really, really am going to work hard on being mindful of how I'm judging others or how I'm seeing other people. I'm going to remind myself in the moment to pay attention to my feelings and the feelings that are coming up, because I don't want the negative feelings to come and enslave me and engulf me and blind my judgment, blind my intuition, basically. Sorry, I was trying to say intuition. I said judgment, but because we shouldn't have judgment. We shouldn't hold anything over anyone. if you've lived your whole life avoiding your own feelings, then it is a hard thing to start practicing. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy for me, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect. There are going to be times when like I had recently, it's been really rough, I'm really missing my best friend, and I wish I could share this, and I wish I could say the things that I want to say, but I can't. So I'll just continue to stay in my lane and try not to get engulfed in other people's sorrow, and live in uh, their suffering, I guess. I don't want to live in anyone's suffering. If those people are still judging and criticizing and chopping people up to pieces and breaking them down without looking within themselves, then they cannot really, if they cannot really see themselves, then I can't do anything to change that. We none of us can change anyone. We can only change ourselves. We can only work on us, and being mindful of what situations we find ourselves in, and how calm we can remain in the situation, how at peace we can remain. Sometimes we tend to think that like we let things roll around in our heads over and over and over and replay itself, and that's not good. And there's no need for us to keep doing that. There's no need for me to keep doing that right now. I just need to put one foot in front of the other and just keep moving forward, keep progressing, keep trying to reach that enlightened, I guess, side of myself, reminding myself that this is a journey, and I'm trying to find myself again, and reconnecting with my soul and my purpose, and finding the things that are going to keep me grounded and happy from within, and not holding grudges or anything against anybody, because that kind of energy will only prevent me from reaching that for myself. And sorrow and grief, yeah, we all can feel that, and we'll have our moments, but we have to just remember to feel it, let it go, and just keep moving forward. I'm deeply hurt. I know I've only spoken for myself so far, but I'm really grateful that I can recognize these things, and I'm grateful for the people that I've had experiences with, and I know that they're probably hurting just as much as I am, because this cannot be just me feeling this way. People are not just monsters, okay? I don't believe that. And when you've experienced someone else's true love and their feelings, in your heart what that person is. And people can be erratic and ecstatic and about their misery, but it doesn't mean that you have to sit there and cling to their sorrows with them. You just have to allow people and give them space to resolve their own problems. And I hope that's what I'm doing. I hope that at least as drastic, or as however society is judging the situation, however it's understood that I had to stop myself too. I had to take a moment to breathe and bring awareness, and try to figure out how to do this in a positive way as well, because I wasn't the only person in this situation, and Everybody needs to be happy here. Everybody needs to find peace and forgiveness and move on and find joy, regardless of whether our wants are being satisfied or not. We just have to figure a way to move forward. Like I said, I don't think that my person is very pleased at everything that happened, and I know him, and I know what he is, and I know what he's capable of and what he's not capable of, and no matter what the circumstances, I know he sits back and he thinks and he's reflecting as well, just as much as I am, knowing that there were things that were said or done that caused the suffering between us, and whether it was what we took in from the outside and brought it into our relationship, or whether it was just stuff that we needed to work on within ourselves. It shouldn't have any effect on our moods right now, because we're both in a space where we can just try to find some peace to work through some of these things that we're hurting from, and try to improve the quality of life. And with an improvement in the quality of life, I believe that there's going to be a better or a huge boost in our productivity, our creativity, to really shine and come through as our true, authentic selves. And whether we never speak again, or we never ever have to cross paths again, which would make me really sad. But I mean, why wouldn't I feel sad about that? Because all I've ever wanted was to find that happiness with this person. But I'm sure they probably feel the same way. So regardless, it has to be done. We still have to live and try to find happiness. Try to find out what real peace and joy feels when it comes from within. For me, I can say that I'm not doing this for anybody else, and I'm just asking the people around me stop judging me and trying to tell me how to go about, and stop casting judgment on the situation. I don't need to hear who was right or wrong and who didn't do this and who wasn't doing that. You know what? It doesn't matter. There was just two people cared a lot about each other, and the situation was really not good. And no matter what, I'll always love my person. I have nothing but forgiveness in my heart. And I want him to be happy and find his peace and his joy. And if that has to be without me, then that has to be. It is what it is. And, we both need to be able to accept, to work on ourselves and see where our lives go, It's just all an experience, and it's just all lessons that need to be learned, and hopefully learning and being grateful for all the experiences. We just continue to make progress towards that inner peace and healing. Oh, I couldn't say that word, healing, that needs to, take place, always striving to modify things according to our beliefs. We should hold that, standard of wanting that peace within and that happiness. At this time, I'm really not seeking relationships outside of myself, regardless if they're, family, friends, anybody. I just want to be doing this on my own. I think I owe this to myself to find me again. I've truly been lost for a long time, and I want to know what that feels like as an adult. And strive to balance who I am. I guess when you start to be conscious of your unhappiness, then there's no doubt that you're going to be able to take the steps to make yourselves happy. And I'm starting to be conscious of my own happiness, and I want to be at peace. And with peace, I think happiness will come, joy will come. All the right things will come, all the right things will fall into place. Just be respectful to other people and their choices and where they're at on their journey. That's all I'm asking. Pleasure and happiness is just a state of being. So if I can just find that would make me really satisfied. Try to avoid being so I don't know why the word stoic is coming to mind. I don't remember exactly what that word means, to be quite honest, but it just popped into my head. I just know that things need to come to a stop with the grieving and the unhappiness and, just the feelings of being abandoned. And I'm just going to choose not to feel like that. The mind is just the mind, It do not trust that thinking that tells you that you have no power, because that on its own is just a judgment. When the mind is casting a thought like that, it's just a judgment. I'm not helpless, and I don't want to be helpless. That's a statement, and I don't want to make statements about myself to say that I'm helpless, because I'm not helpless. I've gotten myself up off the ground many times, and I'm not going to let my mind perceive or allow the mind to perceive an association with weakness as truth, because it's not true. None of us should ever allow that within ourselves. We need to recognize that, and that's what I think I've recognized, that because I'm feeling that way doesn't mean it is that way. And it isn't necessary for the mind who believes, things to be true, for me, for me to let the mind tell me that it's true for me. Because, every instant I have the option to change that and think positive, and in choosing, I know that it will help me heal and find that peace. So between the thoughts of helplessness and empowerment, I think I'm going to start choosing empowerment. I hope making sense, So it's going to be like an investment, an investment in believing what I've always believed myself to be, regardless if anyone agrees or disagrees. It's not my job to convince anybody, I'm not weak, and it's not impossible to adapt and change concepts of beliefs, we can empower ourselves. I've talked to everyone in my life about that kind of stuff, I've given advice on that, so it's about time I start turning that within, and I realize that nothing outside of me can make me happy. It all has to come, happy or miserable. It all comes, from just me. So how I perceive the outlook of it is what I'm attracting to myself, and I'm done doing that. I'm done trying to go into so much details and thoughts and to comprehend how things are and what things could have been and change this or change that. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's just all a waste of my energy right now. I'm just going to continue to enjoy my dreams and my telepathic messages and visits, and keep encouraging you guys to, find your power and don't feel powerless, I guess. Just have the option of choosing between unhappiness and your happiness. Know that there is an option and you can choose the right one that fits you. Only you know, and only I know. So whatever feels good for you, go with it. No one's going to judge you if you don't choose to go with it right now. When you're ready, you're ready. And well, I think I'm ready, and I want to see growth from the inside out. And only then I think this life is going to make sense to me and become more incredibly creative. Let go. Let it all go. Just surrender. It will take some time and effort. I have been working on this for almost 9 months now. But I'm hoping that it will become easier and easier and become second nature to me and you, if you're choosing to do that. Just keep drinking my water, eating healthy, commit right now to pick the thinking that empowers me. It will swiftly, I guess, change at some point. And before you know it, it probably will be like a memory thing of the past, that I actually felt that way, and maybe I'll laugh at it, and maybe people involved would laugh. So yeah, hopefully this made sense to someone, and just remember not to be fooled by your mind, and It can't be perfect. We're not perfect. None of us are. And we're all just working against I don't know, the mind is just working against us and using others to further its own goal. That's all I could say. So just be mindful of that and be aware of that ego and the mind, ego mind. It's useful for a lot of things, but it's not useful in taking on insults and burdens of, what's being done onto you. We need to keep our minds under check and avoid attachments. Such as like attachments such as judging or justifying or clinging to them. Just be friends with your ego. It will assist you in seeing the things from multiple perspectives, I think, rather than just one-sided. And don't get caught up in your own thoughts. The thoughts don't have power to define who we are. We're pure consciousness, and I think it's time we start recognizing that. We have a unlimited awareness capacity, and we should start maintaining that and using that and maintain that vigilance. Thoughts are nothing more than that. Sorry, I'm just picking words here, and I'm, it might sound like I'm lost, but I'm not. Again, just keep an eye on that ego and that mind and thought as it comes and goes. Just let it pass. How you react, watch how you react to it. And keep in the back of your mind that you are not your ideas. And they're not end all be all. Instead of following this or that notion, pay attention to the space between them, our thoughts and our feelings. And let's not waste our time battling anymore, battling our thoughts. There's no sense of just fighting. They really aren't real and can't be eliminated. It's just all part of the process. This is what viewing, absorbing entails. That is what it is to be alone. That's the practice that I'm going to start using. And that's the practice of meditation, you know? It's a really good practice. Just practicing this can set us free of so many doubts and harmful harm that we bring to ourselves. Once we can watch our thoughts as if it were a movie, and I think it changes everything for the better. It doesn't really matter what the thoughts are. It does not matter what they are. Just watch them. It's just something that happens, and you just learn to observe it, and just let it all go. Once I learn how to do that, I think that same energy will be transformed simply by viewing it. And we can all try to practice this, and it shouldn't, or it will no longer be a problem for us. It just really doesn't require any effort. You just have to just sit there with it. It's so funny because a lot of people might think it's a lot of work. It's not like doing something. You don't have to physically do anything. You're just simply just sitting there in the moment and do nothing with it. Like, how much more simpler and easier can that be? It's quite funny because a lot of us can't quiet our minds, and we feel like we need to quiet the mind, but you don't need to quiet the mind. It's okay. Just watch the show, We'll reach that point, I guess, when we become experts at that practice where we're so full of light and joy that, our entire being becomes a powerful prayer of its own, without words, without any effort. That's how you truly become an emperor, an empress, and you become someone who can stand back and observe without reacting, becoming overly reactive and engrossed in things that are simply not in your control around you. We are the universe. And we control our own throne of our own house, who is within us. Our house is us within this body. Just watch without being connected in any way. Because that is what awareness means. So, my dear friends, I hope this message finds you in a good, healthy, and happy place, as always. I love you all. And I wish for you to have the most abundant and joyous life possible. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk again soon. All right, take care. Bye.